the Nintendo Switch is exactly what I want from Nintendo. Now, tomorrow night, Nintendo is holding their press conference, and I'm tempted to try to live stream during it, or at the very least, I'll be live tweeting it on Twitter, twitter.com/boogie2988. You can follow me there. But just looking at the rumors, it looks like the lowest price point could be $250. The highest price point for a bundle, or perhaps the deluxe version, could be as high as $399. It looks like it's going to have a variety of different hard drive spaces. Apparently, it's going to use SD cards. Apparently, it's going to use cartridges so that you don't have to worry about scratching your discs on the go. I think there's a lot of really good things about it. There are its limitations as well, based on the rumors. The screen on the device itself is 720p, and it looks like 720p is going to be what you'll expect for the output for a lot of the different games, even though that will be in 60 frames per second, which I'd rather have 720p at 60 frames per second rather than 1080 or even 4K at 30 frames per second, but that comes down to personal preference. As someone who plays games on an iPad, in fact an iPad Pro, pretty regularly, I would have preferred a larger screen, but anything's going to be larger than that. Oh, but when it comes to games, though, it looks like the Nintendo Switch definitely has it there with the first-party games such as Zelda Breath of the Wild and all of the other games, Mario Brothers, and some of the Wii U ports like Mario Kart 8. It looks like even Ubisoft is ready to produce games for them at the launch the way they were for the Wii U, and hopefully if this unit sells enough, they will get some of the biggest names in the gaming industry to publish on this console. And I think with this portability, with this idea, and just the fact that a Nintendo, I think there's a really solid chance that could happen. You see, there's a lot of announcements tomorrow I would be excited about. The price point, the gaming lineup, third-party support, so on and so forth. But the most important one to me would be if Nintendo announced that they were finally going to do away with their Nintendo YouTube partnership program. For those of you who are unaware, Nintendo will copyright flag every single video that has a Nintendo asset in it. And we're talking about stuff like a logo or a picture of Mario or the little coin grab sound that you get when you pick up a game in Mario. Literally just about any video that contains any Nintendo's properties, they will absolutely copyright flag and take the revenue from. And this even includes reviews of products and reviews of their games. However, if you do go through their convoluted and time-wasting creator program, they will allow you to keep some of the revenue that video would generate. Instead of taking all of it, they just take most. Now, for some really, truly dedicated Nintendo fans, we will make videos about them anyway, knowing that our hard work will actually pay Nintendo, because some of us don't mind letting Nintendo have the money. Some of us will do this, and yet furthermore, some people will actually go through the creator program to split revenue with Nintendo and get literally nothing for it other than, I guess, their permission. Some YouTubers who feel like they absolutely should still cover their products actually go as far as to use copyrighted music so that the music industry will fight them on the revenue. Jim Sterling plays Chains of Love every time he shows even one part of a Nintendo asset, knowing that they'll try to steal the money. That way, they can fight over it with whoever the hell made that song. But the majority of gaming YouTubers basically choose to not cover Nintendo. They won't play their games and show them off. They won't give them reviews, positive or negative. Basically, at the end of the day, they just ignore their consoles and ignore them as a company, because that's kind of what Nintendo wants us to do, I guess. The problem is, I don't want to ignore Nintendo. I want to promote Nintendo. I want to help Nintendo. I want to review their games. I want to play them on stream. I want to play them on YouTube Live. I want to play them on my gaming channel. I want to play them here. I want to unbox their products. I want to help Nintendo. I want to make money while at the same time helping Nintendo make money. This just makes sense to me, pun intended. And I'm not saying that Nintendo's decision to do this is what tanked the Wii U, and I'm certainly not going to say that we will make the difference about the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure it will do whatever it's going to do without us. But if you ask certain people in the industry, the people who made Five Nights at Freddy's, or the people who made Angry Birds, they will tell you that a YouTube influencer can certainly make the difference between success and failure. In their case, they're not Nintendo, though. And look, I'm not so stupid or conceited to think that Nintendo needs us. I guess at the end of the day, we don't need Nintendo either. And I don't understand why we wouldn't just want each other. Why wouldn't we want to do business together? And sure, I mean, they still do business here on YouTube. Obviously, they put out their own videos, they promote them, and they do a very good job. And they do pay a handful of influencers tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to promote their brand when they can control the message. The people like me who they can't control, we're just not welcome to that party. So here's the thing. Tomorrow night, I'm going to watch this press release with the giddy enthusiasm of a teenage boy, just as excited to get my hands on a Nintendo Switch as I was to get my hands on an NES after the first time I played my friend's Dustins. I literally cannot wait to get a hold of a Nintendo Switch. I can't wait to play. However, the biggest thing tomorrow that would make me the most excited is if Nintendo decided they no longer wanted to take the revenue out of YouTubers who want to share their products and share their games and just spread their love and fandom for Nintendo. People like me. And you know, that's just one man's opinion. I could be wrong. I certainly don't speak for every YouTuber, and I certainly don't speak for you. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. I will at least live tweet tomorrow's press conference, so please be sure to tune in from that. If I'm physically capable with the injury I'm currently nursing, I will definitely try to live stream it on Twitch as well. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. And let me know down below. Are you excited about the Nintendo Switch? Do you just not care anymore? Are you over it? Are you more of a graphics person who's PC master race? Are you somebody who loves the consoles and you can't imagine swapping over to Nintendo? I don't know. Entirely up to you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll speak with you again soon.
I'll be back.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie the 988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And I wanted to make a video talking about something you guys have been talking about quite a bit lately. And that's the way my legs appeared in the videos I made with Jesse and other stuff. My Thanksgiving Francis video. A lot of you guys pointed that out, and it made me feel pretty self-conscious. So if it's all right, I'm actually going to show them off, I think, today. I'm going to show them off a little bit because I want to talk to you about what happened. These are my feet, these are my legs, and this is what they look like. This is what my giant, old, gross-looking foot looks like. This is what my right foot looks like. Very, very swollen all the time. Then you have the weird discoloration here on the legs. Hey, me. I'm trying to film. And if you can see right here, it's much darker on this side. It's hard to tell with this light, but they're much darker on this side because I'm actually fighting off some infection right now, cellulitis. And I'm taking antibiotics. That kind of sucks, but let me show you why. Now, every time I show off those legs or they're seen in the video, people always freak out. They're like, look at his feet, look at his legs. Is that what fat people's legs look like? No, it has nothing to do with me being fat. Me being fat makes the situation worse, but not every fat person's legs look like that. Somebody who's been my size even their whole life, chances are their legs are going to look fairly close to normal. Well, okay, maybe not normal, maybe fat. But still, I mean, normal fat. So some people will then guess that it's because I have bad circulation, and that's kind of right. Other people think it has to do with congestive heart failure and that maybe my heart's giving out. That's a fair guess, but I actually never hear anybody guess what the problem actually is, so I want to talk about that. When I first started having problems with my legs, I was like 24 or 25, and what happened was I ended up slamming my left leg in a car door, leaving this huge indent that possibly could have needed stitches. Unfortunately, I had no access to medical care as a very young, very poor, uninsured American. So I just kind of nursed it back to health, and eventually it did end up getting infected. And when it got infected, the doctors didn't really know what to do. The doctors would give me antibiotics and it would kill the infection, but the infection would come back over and over and over again. The swelling in that leg was isolated to that leg, and it had to do with the infection. But no matter what we did, we could not get the swelling to go down, and it continued to get worse and worse. They tried wrapping it in ace bandages. They had me set in a whirlpool filled with Epsom salts over and over again. They had me buy a home bath whirlpool. You know, and they did just about everything they could, but for whatever reason, it went undiagnosed for several months. And I walked around for, I think, 3 or 4 months with an infection continuously reoccurring in this leg, and it was absolutely miserable. It would actually literally ooze lymph, and nobody could figure out what that was. So at one point, one night, I was just feeling particularly sick and decided to lay down and go to bed, and I slept for about 3 days before I woke up again in the emergency room. I don't know how I survived. I don't know why I survived, but
Oh, I'll do it.
Thank you to AMD for sponsoring our CES 2017 content. Check out their new Ryzen processor in the link in the description down below. Back at Computex 2016, InWin held this epic competition between modders from all around the world to see who could make the best mod on one of their platforms. Our friends at BS Mods were there, Bob and Rod, and they had a really interesting submission. I made a video about it, you guys voted, and they're one of the winners to have their mod turned into an actual production purchasable case. When I walked up to the booth at InWin, I seriously thought it was the modded version from before. I was like, oh cool, they brought the one that they made at Computex to the show floor at CES. I was wrong. That is the final product. That is a purchasable, expensive, limited edition product that looks absolutely legit. Upon closer inspection, while staying true to the original build, they have done some upgrades. The sword itself does look a little bit better, and on the pommel, there's this really awesome power button that feels really nice, and then along the side of the blade, there's your I/O. So they have two USB 3, two USB 2, and audio headers. All of those scallops are on 3mm thick aluminum panels, which is super legit, and the shield on the right side of the case has an LED backlight behind it. The giant rivets all throughout the case are all real. They actually sourced rivets that big specifically for this build, which is not something InWin normally uses at all. For the cross on the front, that mesh pattern that goes behind it, they had to find the original material that they actually used for the first mod and buy it in bulk, which was actually a complicated process, but either way, it looks great. And it probably should, considering it costs so much that if you actually care how much it costs, you probably shouldn't buy it. I actually don't know right off the top of my head. That isn't really a variable that matters. But to make sure that you actually know that it is fully legit through and through, there's a signed panel on the left-hand side from Bob and Rod themselves, which is awesome. This build that you can see right now weighs 65 pounds without the water in it. So it actually weighs a little bit more than that. And when they display it, they take 2 people to pick it up. All of this was built on an InWin 509 frame. So if you think you can do a mod that's cool as well, you can pick that up. And if you're thinking of other things, maybe try to give them a name. At BS Mods on Twitter, they're trying to figure out a name for this. One that I thought of was Sword and Board, which is kind of like the knight thing, but it's not a board for the shield, it's a metal thing. So maybe you can think of something more creative than I did. And speaking of creativity, thanks again to AMD for sponsoring our CES 2017 content. Their Radeon Vega GPU will introduce a new memory architecture that sports high bandwidth cache. You can learn more about Vega by visiting ve.ga, clever URL, or visiting After the Uprising on this YouTube link right up here.
Thanks to AMD for sponsoring this video from CES 2017. Learn more about their Ryzen processors at the link in the video description. So behind me is the Sony Xperia projector. They're not giving us a price, they're not giving us any concrete specs, but they are telling us how it is intended to work. Now, I've seen projected touchscreen interfaces before. There was kind of a weird keyboard, like take your keyboard with you anywhere thing, but it didn't really work that well. This is a whole other level. This is a full-fledged Android experience that is projected simply by putting it down on a table onto a 23-inch display with 10-point multi-touch. And it's got a bunch of other cool stuff in it as well. Dual microphones for OK Google, stereo speakers. It's got an infrared sensor on the bottom. That's how it handles multi-touch. It's got NFC, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It's got a 13-megapixel camera, which I'll talk a little bit more about why you would want a block in the middle of your dining room table with a camera on it later. And finally, it's got a built-in battery that's going to have a capacity somewhere in between unplug it to move it somewhere else without rebooting it and actually watching a movie on it. So use case number one is pretty simple. Let's say you're in, I don't know, the kitchen. Being able to sit and read the news or plan out your day while you're eating your cereal without getting, milk all over your phone or your tablet. I'm liking this. What about cooking? Now you've got a 23-inch display that you can interact with and see your recipe. And once you've, gotten everything all messy like I know I do, you go ahead, you cover the infrared sensor, wipe it up. Freaking fantastic. Love it. Moving over to the dining room table. Multiplayer gaming on Android? Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Why does it suck? Not because there aren't games, actually, but the fact that the screens are so small means you're really not having a very interactive experience, or you're bumping heads. It gets a little too interactive. So they did a demo where I'm playing this game head-to-head against one of the Sony reps, and it actually feels like sitting and playing a board game. freaking cool. So whether you're looking at like photos or you're, collaborating on a document or something, I'm liking that too. But you flip it up, now you're in the living room. I like this one best. So by moving it 25 centimeters away from the wall, you can get up to an 80-inch screen. Is it competitive with a multi-$1,000 projector? Come on, get real. Yes, it's a laser projector, but no, that's dumb. But if you're in a dorm or something like that, you've got some friends over, it is absolutely an acceptable way to watch a movie. And if you want to play games, they've got a tie-in with PlayStation. So let's say you live in a multi-screen house, someone wants a TV, you go, okay, well, I'll just grab the projector, head over somewhere else, and I can play off the PlayStation remotely over the Wi-Fi. Liking that too. Last but not least, let's get back to the camera. Skype calls. Cool, right? Okay, the Wi-Fi in the hotel sucks, so we couldn't actually perform a Skype call, but you can see in the preview here that the wide-angle view of us on the couch actually looks pretty darn good. And by on a couch, I of course mean huddled together behind the tripod. So there's a couple use cases for it, but of course there are going to be more. So let me know in the comments, guys, if you can think of what you would use a little kind of flexible pocket projector like this for. So thanks for watching our content from CES 2017. Guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you check out our sponsor for this video, AMD. They've got a bunch of information about their new Vega GPU architecture. You can head over to ve.ga. We'll have that linked in the video description. But this is a whole other way of handling graphics. We've seen it running Doom at 4K 60 FPS. Absolutely maxed out settings live, and you are gonna want to get all the details because you're a big nerd like me.
For the Armani.
Huge shout out to FreshBooks for sponsoring this video at CES 2017. FreshBooks is the #1 cloud-based accounting solution for small businesses. Now, if there is one company that's not afraid to make a product that there could possibly be a dozen people in the world who would be willing to buy it, it is Steiger Dynamics. They built their company. This is the lead. This was their first product. They built their company on the idea that they could take something that no one else was even bothering to try and do it way better than anyone else was doing. So the Leap was the ultimate silent, high-performance media center gaming PC. And in some ways, they were very much ahead of their time. Since then, since I first saw them like 4 years ago, they've launched the Maven, which is a smaller, less windowed, less front displayed version. And they've launched the Aura, the slimmer, non-SLI compatible, but in my mind, very sensible one. And they've all recently been updated to not only work with the Nerdy Tech Couchmaster, which they carry here in North America, but also with VR, thanks to front HDMI input that's handled with a pass-through from the video card at the back. But of course, that's not what I was holding in the thumbnail. What I'm holding is one of the most out there systems that I have yet seen. Now, is it based on an iStar USA chassis? We've actually worked with those guys before on some of the stuff in our server room. The answer is yes. But they have customized the front bezel, so it's got a beautiful brushed aluminum finish. They've got a slot load optical drive and 5 toolless hot swappable 3.5-inch drive bays on the front of what would be, for me, the first rack mountable media center gaming PC that I have ever encountered. Now, because these guys are a boutique builder, you'll be able to configure the system with anything from onboard graphics and a low-end processor all the way up to a Core i7 10-core Extreme Edition with GTX 1080s and SLI. At least that's as high up as they validated for the box. Now, do you get the same immaculate build quality that you do with their machines that are designed to sit at the front of the living room as the centerpiece of your home theater system? No, you don't, but this type of a system is designed to meet a very, very specific need. The enthusiast home theater / gamer person that has so much extra income that at the back of their dedicated home theater room, they have a rack mount setup with all their AV gear and now potentially a high-end gaming machine. So there you have it, guys. You saw it here first. Rack mount gaming machine. Actually, you saw it here first a year ago when I built mine, but whatever. They've caught up now. The industry has caught up to me. Steiger Dynamics with the Infinitum rack mount gaming machine. So thanks, guys, for watching, and thanks to our sponsor, FreshBooks. FreshBooks is a great tool for small business owners, whether you're a freelancer, whether you're a plumber, you run a dance studio in your garage, whatever the case may be. FreshBooks allows you to send professional invoices in minutes, see if clients have received them, allows you to track your hours, track your expenses, and basically be more organized and spend your time running your business instead of figuring out all of the accounting for the business that you are running. So check it out at freshbooks.com/techtips. We've got that linked in the video description, and you can try it out for free for 30 days. Woo.
Shall we see who gathers enough tribute this time? Your core is under attack. Let's play again sometime.
MVP.
Quick update for you guys.